It's not.
So it's going directly in. When is it going in?
How long have you set this up?
Yeah, no, I don't. It's going directly in. When is it going in?
Set this up.
Yeah, no, I don't. Just exit. No, no. Yeah, no, I don't.
Well, it's
It's aesthetic,
documents,
so it
so
goes
cool.
in, yes. Very
So
nice.
let's just leave something up here, what they think, the file when the meeting starts.
Yeah, the agenda is already there. It's not the agenda. The document.
Well, I thought this was.
These are your documents. What, is that your agenda?
Oh, I have to pull from the tabs, and not from the, not from,
Well, I think I already opened it. I mean, just click on that one.
okay.
Yes. So
That's
that
done.
one. Yeah.
Okay,
So it's easier to go across.
and then if I go on, to get off of that one,
Just,
I would just minimize that.
well, this is your agenda, so you'll do that first, and then if you want to see the documents inside the packet, you just go that one.
Then I can open. Okay.
Just so you know, we're screening them, so. You know, no, you always close that window because it's not your feedback.
This is,
So I'm gonna change it to verify right now with this.
yeah, you just focus the list.
Yeah, on that feedback, right?
See, there it says this bundle contains 2 items and then the price becomes $36, which means it's $18. So I'm telling you, when you buy bulk, we would get a discount. Just right up here, it's same SK, whatever, because I'm buying
There's more than one escape.
emergency radio 200.
Twitter sounds right.
Mhm. So I'm going to open this up. It's the same one.
And so it's 17 something.
So instead of $37.98, it's $35.99. I'll read all the other.
The other one is 17 something. Size of the battery was big. 2,000 milliamp. That's important because that's this one. They have lesser ones like
No,
1,000.
this is 1,000.
It's on the, it's the lesser
Okay,
one.
well, let's get the 2,000.
Mhm.
So it's near the city box.
My sentiments exactly.
My location. This one's still 2,000.
Yep.
This one's 2,000. It's still $35.98. It's ready. I'm still having the scan.
Who's this one?
2,000 boy. SK itself. Why?
Check the shipping date.
And
You know, available.
free fast delivery if we have Prime.
I don't want to get this. Yeah.
$6. This one is. Sure, let's see. Okay, let's see what it happens.
You've checked to see that we're. Get us what they want, right?
Okay. So.
This one, give you this better. Thank you, Lord, for giving us lots of change.
Oh, getting the.
Yeah.
Are we out there?
Yes,
Yes. First time, I want to make sure this for a little.
we're streaming too.
Need a hotspot? No, we don't. Actually, we found the Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi code. So so we're good. Where should I be sitting?
Anywhere.
Minimize everything from you. Yes. Oh, okay. I was gonna just leave that up so Laura could see, because she's never been in the room when we do.
Oh, you want this back up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so how are you?
Not feeling really well. Too much anxiety. Back to those. We're live, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Be
Jeremy.
careful what I say.
Yes. We're good. We've got 4 minutes left and we're on.
I just checked on my camera.
Soft. The anxiety.
Well, I may leave by age. We don't know.
You've been around this, you got the keeper of the oral history here. I put a few documents in that if there's somebody attending this meeting, I'd like to share with them. What do you think of that?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I think it's fine. I mean, the main thing is any document that we have, whether we have it on some change, I'm sure. Or
My old director's name.
any document we share or we have exactly on the table under the rules either needs to have enough copies to know the person who's here
Oh,
or within 24 hours plus.
so by putting it in the packet, did we satisfy that?
Exactly.
All right, I was hoping not.
We were just discussing. Well, they didn't get the Thursday. The change of law we did last the council day.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, when we find out what you're going on. Try to figure out.
Yes, I mean, I'm trying not to do this. You're really trying to figure out for the next 2 weeks, just we'll schedule. Okay, so.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
so I don't know if there's going to be other stuff, it's like this.
And then that also reminds me that email came in. Remember we were discussing what happens to the emails that go to info?
Oh, yeah.
What
happens?
Well, I don't know.
That's a good question.
Doug sends them to me now.
It does automatic.
Yeah, but one came in from Pico and someone else about Ciclavia that's coming out. And I think it also went to Greg, but I'm going to respond to Doug later and say, I'll send it to Lizzie because I think they're asking for some outreach documentation or something to put on it.
Oh, good.
I'll take a look.
Yes.
So I'm looking for my tabs. When we start this meeting, I want to put the agenda up. How do I get to that tab? Karen?
You will minimize the screen, go to, yeah,
Oh, that's it.
oh, and then on the bottom, there, no, the circle.
Where's
Four.
Microsoft Edge, the green and blue one?
The
Far right.
Right.
Okay.
The circle.
In the middle, the
Blue
blue,
towards the middle.
the one that looks like Earth, green and blue.
Yeah, and then there's.
Yeah, click that. And then there are your 2 tabs.
Right. Why does it have the earth?
There's
I
a-
need to make
Explorer,
sense
it's
of
the
it.
E.
It's the E, it's
Oh.
Microsoft Edge.
Edge or Explorer.
Okay.
Yeah, because, yeah, other people are gonna be.
So the other one is, the tab to the right.
Yeah, there we go.
What she's saying is your packet with
Yeah.
Google.
If I just,
Yeah,
if I can zoom in
raise
this
my
one, is that good?
Well, you
Go
don't have
back
to
to
do the
where
screen is
James,
there.
go to James, you see James? On the far right,
Oh,
up, there you go. You
And see
that
the green arrow?
to the right?
The green
There you
arrow?
go, green, there you go.
That will enlarge the screen.
thank you.
Yeah. I think we need to get a Zoom class.
Well, I think we need also how to use your mouse.
Yeah.
Because I see what was happening, you keep
The mouse is difficult to
Well,
use.
and I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's sitting, no, it's sitting,
I forgot.
do you know what? It's sitting right where this was sitting. I mean, within a quarter of an inch.
Lord, that is another mouse pad. That thing is like
mouse pad.
20 years old.
But I keep forgetting to bring it. So it probably should just sit in.
Good evening, everyone, including those that are not joined us in person. This is our first hybrid meeting tonight of the United Neighborhood Council, Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness. Meeting is now called to order. You're going to take a look at the agenda. So those of you that haven't seen this. No, I'm going now.
Minimize at the top row.
Okay. Pardon my awkwardness here, but we're going to get there. Back to,
PE or explore in the bottom or edge.
here's the agenda for this evening. See, but essentially we're going to welcome each other. There's a chance for public comments. We've got a few things that this committee has put together. And we're going to present them for your review and discussion. And we're going to have a little action tonight, hopefully. I want to welcome whoever's here present. James, we welcome you calling in from afar.
Well, thank you. It's nice to see all of you. By the way, the technology is working well.
We thank you for that. We understand that you are the part of this high-tech team.
No, I just carry the bags with Teresa. So, but you're welcome.
All that and humble too. That's pretty impressive. Okay. This is a chance for any public comment right now. So anyone at this table or James, if you have any public comment, now's your chance to discuss or tell us about something that's not on the agenda for a minute or two. So the floor is open for public comment.
No comment. Thank you.
Yes, Laura.
Yes, this coming Sunday, okay, which direction should I be
You should
talking?
talk.
This coming Sunday, we have Ciclavia. It's subtitled Mid-City to Pico Union. And it will be Sunday, April 16, from 10 in the morning, I think, till 4 in the afternoon, and runs along Venice Boulevard. Thank you. From Hoover all the way to 7th Avenue here in Arlington Heights, and then makes a little turn down 7th to Washington Boulevard all the way over to La Brea. So UNNC and also a group of community partners will be having a series of booths, 4 booths in a row at the hub at 4th Avenue on Venice Boulevard. We invite everyone to come. And if you happen to be watching and you think you are a part of an organization that's could be a community partner, please do email us at UNNC. That would be president@unnc.org, and let us know that you might wish to share our table for a couple of hours during the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Any other public comments? Now into the planning of this committee and others for the Earth Day. It's going to be held on April 22nd. So let's take a look at the materials we have for that. And do we just,
Over one more.
okay.
Quick.
Voila. This is a bit of a cut and paste version of something that we're going to do. This handout is intended for the Earth Day event and any subsequent events. We've pirated good content from a few other places and added some of our own text. So identifying the United Neighborhoods Neighborhood Council, this particular committee, we're offering some advice in terms of dealing with preparation for and recovery from a disaster. The advice we've picked up from other public sources. It's just very generic, general advice. The idea is that this is a colorful, easy to read, single page handout, and we hope to print it on slightly heavy paper. Some people will say, this is something I need to keep. Is there any comment about this?
About this one handout, no.
Yeah.
I have some questions about any other handouts you might have.
Let's go ahead.
Well, I think we lost the I Safe LA,
Oh, okay.
but can you hand out their materials?
Let's I have something on this to go specifically. We'll table that for a moment
Okay.
and get into that specifically. This is something that our communications committee is working on. We're going to come up with this in final form and we're going to print it. And it's going to cost us up to $200 to print enough of these things. So I'm making a motion that we request up to $200 to print 100 copies of this for handouts.
Is it gonna be that size?
Well, it's going to be letter size, and it's going to look, well, it's going to look like this. It's going to be in color, and for slightly heavy stock in color, it's going to cost our people at the Print Depot talk about it above a quarter to print.
$1.25 for each sheet.
Yeah, rather than 75 if we weren't getting the color heavy.
Okay, I think we have monies set aside for printing in general terms for outreach, but that would be a lot more expensive than we usually spend on a flyer kind of format. And I mean, I'm just saying that's more money than we would usually spend. I'm not gonna say we can't spend it. I think we need to look at the existing budget.
Let's look at the local printer to see if we can get. Were you thinking 60-pound stock paper?
Not that heavy, no.
40?
And by the way,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe 32, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They were recommending something. And let me just.
it's a glossy, actually, I print there a lot, and that's the paper, the price I would get when I'm printing real estate flyers. If 4 colors, very glossy, 2-sided. But this isn't 2-sided unless you're translating it to Spanish.
No.
Right now.
No, we're doing it just in English ones.
To move things, to not tie us up on a particular dollar amount, everything that we're going to make motions for tonight is still negotiable. That's what I'm saying, up to $200.
Correct.
Because I would love to have us shop around.
Well, and I would say this, if this is a document you guys also want, as I think we do, for many other events.
Yes.
Right.
I think that $200, that specific $200 will need to do the normal route to the executive committee, then to the board in May. But I believe we already have enough money to print just regular flyers without asking anybody on that paper.
Mhm.
So I think,
So even 32-pound paper?
no. I think I have to look at, we have talked to Paul and kind of remind ourselves. Maybe we did a budget back in.
And we put
We done
money
it.
aside. We did. We put money
Yeah.
aside, but we were never specific of how much.
Right, no, I understand. I think that would kill the budget, considering we have to print flyers, and I'm gonna probably just print those to paper the neighborhood, the birthday flyers.
But let me just, if I can, Dennis, if you don't mind.
Sure.
If we have money in outreach for flyers.
That's when I need to check how much is left in plain outreach, which would be for flyers. We have money in
Let's just say we have
elections, but
200.
this is not,
Okay, let's say it's $200.
right?
Then what difference does it make what quality, what size?
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why they're using the heavier stuff
But if-
for this event.
Well, let's say they want to. We don't
Right.
know. But what difference does it make to Paul or to anyone if we've allocated $200? Okay. I
And how
think
many
that would do.
copies are you getting for $20? Because we have Cyclovia this weekend too.
Okay, first of all, communications hasn't got back to me when I say, here it is.
Oh.
Get back to me, tell me when it's going to be ready. So we don't know it's going to be ready for this event.
Got it.
But we're pushing to get it done because this is a long-term flyer in my mind. We'll just have it available in the future. If it were available in final form for this event, I'd print it on 20-pound, just to make sure we get it out.
Sure, I'm saying I'll be doing a print order at Print Depot, that's for darn sure,
But
for this event, because we need to get out a number of things.
So you're saying, can you just include their?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be on heavy duty. I mean, I don't think,
Well, but I'm with, Dennis on the need for the heavier, otherwise they're gonna just toss it. At least if it
okay,
is a heavier weight, then it'll stay longer in the house. Now, what Teresa is saying, and why don't we just use a half sheet and use front and back? The cost might be the same.
I think the cost is the same, because I have to cut it.
Right, I don't know, I'm just saying,
That size is better.
yeah, for me, this seems, if we're
For a
talking
print.
about retention,
Right.
this might be
I just
something.
want to say, I'd really like it to this single page.
Okay.
See it all at once. And Grace hit it with the idea it'll get a little bit more respect. If it's like this, it's gonna get folded up in this.
Here, we will have you.
Yeah, people may,
Alright, okay.
yeah, those orange bags are awesome.
I know.
So your motion is to ask for up to
Up to
$200.
$200 for printing such a flyer. And we don't have to say what poundage or how many.
Correct, and that'll end up at the governing board in May, but we need to print your stuff now, so we'll need to check what's already allocated. Two different orders.
Yes, yes. That has to be ready.
Before
Although
the next board meeting. Yes.
I would print that one that I cut and pasted as opposed to nothing, right?
Well, the other thing is, why don't we ask for up to $300 so it gives us the ability to get a better deal, because we're gonna need these.
Yes.
You know, we probably want like 500 of these to be able to hand out all year long.
This is a long-term investment.
So let's ask for up to 300.
Okay.
From this committee for printing.
This committee asked for up to $300 to print substantially this
Correct.
earthquake preparation flyer from.
Oh, someone needs to admit that.
Awesome.
Okay, that's the motion. We have to, in the committee, do we have to have a second and vote on it?
You do, I'm not comfortable voting, so.
I'll second your motion
Okay.
to spend up to $300 to print for these flyers.
Okay, and all in favor, raise your hand. None
Thank you.
opposed?
Okay, let's see if we have people on Zoom with us are opposing, or if you have any thoughts that you want to share.
Wow, thank you.
So I think Rosie has.
Hello, Rosie.
Yeah, I have been trying to get on for so long. I've missed most of the meeting. So I don't really sure what you guys are talking about now.
We didn't start until 7:30.
Okay, because I've been trying to get on since 7 something.
Oh,
I saw when she tried to log in, but we weren't having.
yeah, 7:30, yeah.
Did you have
Okay.
any questions from what you heard so far?
Rosie, we'll tell you what happened. We were
Okay.
asking to put a motion forward to the board to allow our committee to have an emergency planning for when an earthquake happens, what the checklist of things that need to be done. And that's what we just voted upon. Are you in agreement that we should?
Yes.
So now we have 4
Thank you.
people. 5 people. The person who is caller and user 1 on the phone, do you want to unmute yourself and speak, or do you want to just listen in? I think if you do *69, it might allow you to join and speak, be heard by us.
We invite you.
Okay,
Okay.
that's all right. You did it.
So we've moved from that particular point. We do have an extended discussion though on the Earth Day event. As Laura mentioned briefly, we talked about getting free smoke detectors. Let me fill in everyone who's not aware of this. This committee's been trying to find a way to get smoke detectors into the neighborhood for those people that don't have it. We've found that a group called My Safe LA makes a business of providing free smoke detectors to people who don't have them, as long as they sign a pledge to actually install it in their house. We got a commitment from them. And since they've installed some 30,000 in LA so far, it seemed like a good commitment. But 3 days ago, they fell out of their commitment to be at the Earth Day event. Now, they're promising to do some work with us in the future, follow through on the commitment to provide smoke detectors, but nothing for the Earth Day event. So this committee now is going to try and see if we can come up with someone else to be present at that event to address these issues of preparation for a disaster or any public safety issue.
So my question was, I think they must have some sort of standalone handout about the organization,
Okay.
which is sort of, it looked to me when I looked at the website to be a city-private partnership of some sort. So I think we should hand out their information even if they can't come. I have been working to find some other resilience sort of.
So
What you were too.
we actually were able to get some wonderful booklets from the fire department. So we already have lots of them that we can use
Okay.
for Earth Day. 22nd.
And Patrick of Neighborhood Team Program, Chen, church folks, we met with them and they are bringing some material to
Right.
this.
And
And they're
we're
gonna have
gonna
a table.
They're gonna have a table. So I had already ordered table for my, my safe LA,
Uh-huh.
plus 2 extras. So, because we want 10 tents. And I have found 1 or 2 replacement entities. They're not identical, obviously, but one is an organization that has a coalition, but it's about no smoking in housing. Smoke free housing, clean air LA, but it's not about smoke. It's about smoke. They'll be coming. So we're looking at resilience and sustainability. So
Can you tell me a little bit more about the smoke-free people? Because
I wish I had now brought my computer or at least my tablet, because I would give you the email. So I can, but I can't in the meeting. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
No.
KYCC is a partner. I mean, it's a coalition.
Mhm.
And it's, I want to say Angelino Clean Air or something to that effect.
Sure.
And then the other organization that I'm talking to is Architecture Plus Advocacy. So it's they're young architects who are all about designing buildings, again, for resilience and for healthy communities. So I'm trying to fill in so we have that component that's not just native plants and composting. So we sort of have, so on the layout for the street, there's 13 tents, 6 on one side, 7 on the other. And I was hoping we lay it out so that sort of the resiliency groups are together. And there's fewer than there are green groups. I don't know what I'm going to say, but that's sort of the idea. I'm talking again to the council office to make sure that my proposed layout meets what they think we're doing. And the idea of the reason the west side's a little shorter of the tents is there's a driveway for residents on Washington. And I think we're trying, I don't like this idea, but CD10 does, to be able to minimally allow the residents on the west side potentially be able to inch their cars in and out. I do not like that idea. No, I don't like that idea. But just in case, we're going to say whatever the city wants and have a hard stop. It's all right. It's 100 feet on the west side and 200 feet on the east side of no driveway. So I don't like the idea that it may end up that way. It's like, no, it feels like awfully unsafe to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you might,
Feels really unsafe to me.
I mean,
For an event that's in part about safety, it feels really unsafe.
if somebody has an emergency in one of those homes, they could be escorted through the crowd if somebody's having a baby or something like that, but no.
I know. But in any case, the tents are going to be set up for that.
Well, it could also be that the city council district is thinking we're only taking half the ball.
Right, but even that's unsafe, our reading it. Normally, you put a barrier at the two ends.
Yes.
What I can respond to on part of this is I will go lean on Carl Ginsberg, who made a promise to be there for my safe LA to provide some material.
Exactly.
Because originally he said he could bring some CPR stuff with him, but now he can't come at all, partly because his boss committed to 2 other locations on the same day.
It's Earth Day. I mean, Wellington Square Farmers Market is bringing LA compost materials. So LA compost is already at 6 events. So, and when I say already, I mean, they ignored my emails last January, but it's okay. I mean, we don't need to be overwhelmingly crowded. If this is successful, we may do it again. Only it won't be a small group of people playing. We'll have a bigger group.
Maybe it'll be at the park.
And maybe it would be at the park, and then we don't need to worry about closing a street. It'd be much nicer at the park. Much nicer. So anyway, so those plans are afoot, but I
Good
would
for you.
really
I would
would like to have, what I'm trying to get organizations that can't be there to do is give us material.
Okay, Rosie, sorry.
So this event is not one that's just sponsored by UNNC. You just happen to have a booth there.
No, we're sponsoring it, Rosie.
You're sponsored. Okay. So do you know if the gas company is going to be there?
I am aware that CD10 has not contacted the normal city partners.
And that's what we're meeting about tomorrow, to see if there's any possibility that they can get some city partners in. The reason we've been working with, one of the reasons, obviously closing the street is a big reason. Rentals is a big reason, but the other reason to work with the council office was to get some city partners that we don't have yet. And I know this gas company isn't a private city partner, but so that at the moment, these are community partners who will be there.
Right, because the gas company, they usually have, at least a demonstration on how to shut off your gas. And the fire department does too,
Yeah.
demonstration of how to shut off your gas.
So in the past, Rosie, because I know you were the outreach chair, would the gas company have a community liaison? I mean, I could look at their website where I could just call them directly? Or would I need to have gone through the city to do this? If you know.
I don't know. The gas company wasn't, I don't think at our own. I think it may have been at CD10 when we had the big booth there at Benny Potter.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, life is strange right now with the various trying to plan an event. So we're going to do a pretty good job, but it won't be a great, perfect job.
I'm thinking, what neighborhood council? Isn't that one in the Valley? Used to have that really big one every year. I can't think of the name of that neighborhood council.
The one that they did in the Valley that they had to postpone because of the high winds.
Well, no, this was several years ago before the pandemic. A really big event in one of the neighborhood councils in the Valley. I can see if I can find the name.
Right. Yeah, and I would appreciate that very much. And again, I am meeting again with CD10, several deputies tomorrow to see, we're all reporting into each other. So they reach out, but I haven't heard anything. And they certainly haven't told me that they're adding to the rentals because now they need 3 or 4 extra tabs. So I'm going to guess that the tents I ordered for the booths, the vendors, nobody's selling, but we call them a vendor, is the right number because they're not telling me they're bringing in more. So, and you'll notice I'm using the I word, and that's one of the reasons I don't think I can expand this event much by myself.
I'll go back to Carol.
Yes.
It's just a fact that I will not be at the event.
I understand. Well, I mean, I'm finding other booth holders,
Excellent.
but
Yes.
I'm not getting this, I was hoping we'd have LA sanitation. That's the more important one because they're doing all of the green work. And that's what I'm hoping Danielle will tell me tomorrow that we do. I still don't know where I should be looking.
Here and there.
Here and there. I mean, I'm talking to you and I'm talking to Rosie.
We're still on the topic of planning for this Earth Day event. Second, any material that we haven't discussed yet you want to bring up?
For handouts?
For any aspect of this.
Right, so the environmental committee is creating some other handouts. We'll have something about plastics and certainly something about if we don't get the LA sanitation stuff on organic recycling, then we'll print it off. Right,
Did they put in a funding request?
No, we got the budget for that in December, I think. Remember, this is an election, was intended as an election support event. So we did get the
Environmental committee put in for
No,
funding? Okay,
no.
so environmental, they're doing a flyer. Where is that funding coming from? Where?
That's what I'm saying, we can print Dennis and Grace as well. In December, part of our elections outreach budget was for printing, including all of our related events. This is an election. That's what our intention always was. I just don't know how much we've printed already.
Well, I know that we allocated $5,000 for the election.
Including what I'm talking about. And we had two
We had
different,
$1,200 that I say to Lizzie, but to outreach, and then Lizzie came and asked for additional $5,000.
for the rest of the events, but the printing part was at 12.
Okay, she asked for $5,000 for
Total.
elections, so if some of that is for printing or some for food or whatever.
We have a
So there's
very-
money for that,
Exactly.
so they don't have to have their own.
Not, well, they wouldn't have their own for that event because we won't open it until May, whatever. So whatever version of this week for the event. budget, how much money we put, and we're gonna-
I don't think you guys exceeded $5,000.
Oh, no, for printing. We've already, I understand your point. I would agree with your point. We have a new funding person at the clerk's office, and she's looking at the individual amounts within the budgets, not just the overall. She's not really letting people migrate from.
Then, what is, for $5,000, what are the categories underneath that?
Okay, $1,500 is for food and refreshments. $160 for balloons, which we're not gonna do. Because, I mean, it's Earth Day. It's Earth Day, yes. My point is that, I mean, we
Out of $5,000,
it was for the printing of things.
And probably there's food
The food is
and
15.
insurance
And insurance.
and possible if we had to pay for the tables and the tents.
We have a $600 just in case we needed additional rent. So from our perspective, we got plenty of money, but I do not know if the city clerk is gonna let us move things within categories, within
I understand that, but I'm just saying of the $5,000.
1,200 was.
No, 1,200 was what Lizzie asked for elections early on.
No, it got combined. That's the 5,000 includes the 1,200. The way Paul, I
I
think.
do not remember it that way. I remember she asked.
You
for
think there's
$1,200.
6,200?
Yes, and then she came back and we all asked many questions on that. So it was a total of 6,200 that she asked
Got it.
for elections. So I'm just
Well,
saying.
we're not spending anywhere near to that. So, but I'm just saying, I've been bouncing, as you may know, from email to email to email with the funding clerk. The only reason that's quiet this week is she's taking one week vacation.
Okay,
So I'm doing the best I can to massage, because we also have 10% contingency. But
I understand all of that, and I'm just gonna make this one point, and then I will not hijack your committee. I understand your position, Laura, and I understand your knowledge in this, but the reality of having you negotiate for public safety and emergency with the clerk.
Oh, no, I'm saying we have printing, and if we have 1,200, then it could just simply incorporate any of the materials we're handing out that day.
Okay,
If we've already spent 900, I don't think we have, for the postcards, I mean, we've done other election printing, but not a lot. Then we'd have to like say, oh, can we use the contingency fund? I mean, because at the end of the day, Grace and I need to use our credit cards. And because there will be no checks spending. And it needs to fall from the way I'm seeing how it's being handled on the other side.
This is all somewhat relevant to the Earth Day, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just throw something out there, because last year I came up with something we printed and in storage are still copies of that little single page printout that I came up with. So
About the same thing, earthquakes or what?
it was preparation.
Is it same, but this is better than what you have now.
This is focused definitely on earthquakes. The other one was general, but things to have on hand. It was a nice list of things to have on
You
hand.
should bring that up.
But we have in storage. I gave it to at the
Yeah.
last event. It's in storage.
Well, obviously, we have a lot of stuff in storage that would be out. So essentially, I should say, there will be 3 different UNNC tables. Your committee has a table. Grace is taking responsibility for staffing it. UNNC Central, for lack of a better description, has a table. Lizzie is staffing it. Yeah. Should be that much be staffed with board members. And then the environmental committee has a table. On that table, the environmental committee is staffing it. Both you and they want handouts. Okay, yeah. I mean, and then the regular UNNC branding, Gary Bowl, will be at the UNNC Central table. And in terms of, if you can imagine, you're on Washington Boulevard and you're entering 12th Avenue, UNNC will have a table on the west side next to the park with two sides. So they're the entrance table, and then everything else is mobile.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next topic then, which is this request of this committee to consider the purchase of some hand crank emergency radios as quite frankly, an inducement to.
If you go back in the top middle, middle, left. No, that middle.
This is the entire layout of the argument, the facts regarding this particular radio. But the purpose for it is this committee's been trying to get the community involved in the earthquake preparation and how to be prepared for disaster recovery. We have been not getting much involvement from the staff. It's not been very interactive. We feel that we can schedule a few events such as, the prime example, we look at calling a certain way. We put the neighborhood team program together with certain people, and they come up with a program that runs half or even less than the full length of research training, which is about 3 hours a night for 7 weeks in a row. I did that some time ago as part of training, but we're not likely to get everybody in the community to agree to that. However, if we cut that in half, maybe make it 2 or 3 nights, 2 or 3 events, and we give them this radio. I brought the radio tonight. It's a quite serviceable emergency hand crank radio. You might want to know the cost of it. This particular one is about $17. I happen to recommend this particular one, but the hand crank portion is important. You can take it from a dead battery and give it just a few cranks and you get enough light for 5 or 10 minutes.
And we're so lucky that we can do show and tell tonight.
Oh, we're gonna do a show and tell? Okay. Did bring it in, I hate to miss it.
I believe that we see it,
Yes.
just in case.
Too.
It's great. Dennis,
Okay,
you're
so here we
speaking.
go.
Mhm.
They have to talk then.
Okay, but this is gonna get it. It has an emergency. It has the simple light. It has a radio. Doesn't have to have music, but there's a tremendous reception, quite frankly, from this thing. It's got 3 bands, the AM band, the FM band, and the weather band. So together with those bands, you're gonna be pretty well informed. This takes about 3 hours to charge up on a usual USB connector, like you do your cell phone from dead. You can crank it to full charge. That might take hours, quite frankly. But the idea is with just a few cranks, you can get enough charge to your smartphone to make an emergency call. You ought to keep it charged up. If you put it out in the sun, it has a solar panel. And once again, it'll very slowly, but if you keep it out in the sun, it's going to build up a charge. So if you're going to look at this for the long term, you'd want to charge it every once in a while to make sure it was fully charged or put it in the sun. The point is, it's a handy thing. And even if you don't do that, you've got an emergency radio. We're looking to get a supply of these for more than one event, perhaps a couple of years, quite frankly. I'd like to see as many as 200 of these to be purchased so we can give away one to each family who completes the training. So say we get 30 people at the first training. If they're all from the one family, they would get 30 of these radios at the end. We're going to put an adhesive sticker that's bonded to the bottom of the radio to get our name out into the community. We hope the fact that the training and these radios will get the word out. Other people would like the radio, or people that are a little more safety conscious would find out about this program and want to find out when the next one is. For starters, we might say we follow up again in 6 months after the first one. The idea to build up a stock right now is, quite frankly, to take advantage of the fact that we have some funds available. We can get a good radio at a price that's fixed right now and be able to use these to bring people to us.
And to add, there's also a phone charger. USB.
Yeah,
Besides the USB, there's also a little,
Oh, another one.
another one besides the USB.
So let.
that will actually charge the radio. That one was for charging the radio.
No, there's 2. There's a USB and you're saying the other one is a phone charger. Okay.
This is the charge this thing.
I think I've got.
We got 2 USB connectors here. All you need. So any questions or discussion?
Well, I know you're saying charge it outside, but many years ago, I had a different kind of disaster training.
Hmm.
And what they said at the time, I don't know if people still have bed frames, you know, where your box spring and then your mattress sits on a metal frame. But they said for your flashlight, and it would apply to this, and a pair of shoes you never wear, you strap them to the metal frame of your bed. So if the quake hits in the middle of the night and it's completely dark, you can just reach down and you can put on shoes and you have a flashlight. It will not have flown across the room from the drawer of your nightstand. It will actually still be where you are at bed.
So I'm not suggesting.
But I don't know that it uses metal frames anymore.
But I'm not suggesting you put your charging unit outside at night to charge. No,
Well-
just occasionally put it out there. I mean, I followed that training. I got that in San Francisco. I keep a crowbar under my bed because in San Francisco, most important thing is to be able to get out of your room.
Yeah.
And if the building twists, your door's down.
Right. So do you keep it under the bed or do you keep it strapped on the under of your bed?
Under my bed.
Just lying there.
Yeah, a conference I bed with storage underneath it, but there's still room underneath that. And my shoes to walk through broken glass are in the closet that I can get to because I got a crowbar to get in there.
So the motion that we're asking to put forth as a committee here is, go ahead.
Up to $4,000. That would purchase 200 of these and leave us a little spare change. Just like everything else this committee is trying to do, we like to negotiate the price down, but we want a quality unit. This particular unit, I got the quote from Amazon. The price I think is $17.06 a unit right now. That went up a few cents a couple of months ago. If we can get a whole discount, I do recommend that. Certainly, we just want to look at the supplier. Anyone that does an ordering for the committee will do that. Amazon's got like 1,000 favorable reviews of this thing. It's very highly rated. So the price with tax, unfortunately, we have to pay could run as much as $3,800. So which is why I'm saying I'm making a motion that this committee recommend the purchase of 200 of these particular radios, ESCI radios, for a cost of up to $4,000.
One more question.
Certainly,
You indicated adhesive labels.
yes.
How much are they?
That's my second
Oh, it's a
request,
second request.
which is I want $400 for those. Those are pretty expensive.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
These would only be distributed to the mini start program.
That's the motivation right now. If there was something else that the governing board wanted to do with these that further the community benefit, we own that. But the purpose is to get this out into the community and people working with us. If there's some other safety event and we think it's worthy to do that, we'll do it.
But it's not like we would hand it out and say, "Will be."
No.
No. We're getting some training. Rosie, any comments on this?
Rosie, you're muted.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would, I like the hand crankers. That seemed like a good idea, especially since it can be solar powered. What's the
Yeah,
date of this again?
The name?
No, the date of the event.
Well, we expect to set this event up in late July. We're working with the CERT team and the neighborhood team program to come up with this so-called CERT Light program.
Okay, July. Okay.
Okay. The Earth Day is April 22nd. 2
April,
weeks.
right.
But this is for the.
This is for a
future.
training program that we're talking about in the future.
For the public safety and emergency planning committees that needs. Right. And really, so. Would someone like to second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Teresa.
Any further discussion? I'm not sure if you can discussion at this point.
Right.
So can you repeat the motion is up to $4,000?
Yes, up to $4,000 for purchase of 200 of the particular SK radio. And this particular one because it has a bigger battery and some other ones out there. So in the request that we submitted to the executive committee.
Oh, no, I
board,
was just trying to be clarity because that motion has to be on the Sunday.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Very simple.
You can always go back and look at YouTube.
Yes.
So at this point, I heard no further discussion. All in favor of making this request? Aye. Rosie?
Aye.
Great.
Thank
None
you.
opposed? As you heard, mention of the adhesive labels, I looked around for some labels that once stuck on there wouldn't come off, you know, like they do in the stores where you shop in, and there's something really expensive and you can't get the label off of it, so that's the type of label. Those things could cost up to 200, up to $2. So we don't have to spend that much money, but that's why I say we're getting 200 radios, we want 200 of these permanent labels, and let's request up to $400, which is my motion that we do make that request.
And it would be a design with the UNNC logo,
Yes.
info ad or.
In the past, the Army had come up with an additional little labels that was pretty sharp. We just need something small enough to fit on the bottom of that.
So,
Let's
so
say-
you'll like the communications committee to decide.
Absolutely, with this size in mind and the purpose in mind.
Yeah, there's a nice ridge right here where it could fit right in.
Exactly.
Exactly, that's it, yep. Mhm. So, let's see, I think this motion has been made, it has been seconded.
So I
Thank you. Any further discussion on the labels? All in favor of making a request for the expenditure by UNNC of up to $400 for 200 of these labels, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's the extent of the business that we've programmed on the agenda here. Is there any old business that anyone wants to bring up? We have, in fact, I think we could just report to this committee. Grace and I did meet with Chen and Patrick, use their first names, of the CERT and Neighborhood Team Program in terms of finding ways to raise our community involvement. And this is why we came up with this CERT Light program. But, does anyone have any comments about that? Any other way to approach that? I'll share with you that we've helped fund the safety fair over at Exposition Park. And I think we got one person from our community. Grace and I signed up for Cool Blocks. Grace went the extra mile and actually tried to set it up to get community involvement. It's just a bit much to ask. So that's why we come up with this particular way to induce people to actual training with this radio. But any other old business that may be carried on that I'm not aware of?
Well, I would just wonder if you've been attending the neighborhood council emergency preparedness alliance or whatever it's. Is there any reports from the, whatever it's really called, and are there any updates or reports from that?
I don't
mean,
have,
that alliance.
he's actually missed one or two meetings because of other things too. So I have nothing further on that. Is there any new business that anyone wants to bring up?
I would like to, I'm not sure where this falls in, but talking about Cool Blocks, I don't think that was very effective. I know it didn't work with environmental, and then I know Lizzie talked about it a little bit with outreach, and now I see that you guys, it didn't work with you either. I know, just in general, I don't think that's a very effective program.
Right,
It's too long.
and Lisa's not doing anything, right? Wasn't Lisa hurt?
Yeah, you mean,
Yes.
Lisa and Nat stopped doing it too?
I think she said, I talked to her this last week, because the NCSA may have also participated in our event, and she said, it's happened.
Yeah, because.
I'm sorry, for Rosie, Lisa Hart is the coordinator chair, whatever her title is, with the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance.
Okay.
Idea, but the amount of time that a normal person was supposed to give to this is wouldn't be the one.
Mhm.
I think if you're gonna be able to do that, it makes me think of a small town in the Midwest where I grew up. Everybody in the block, and we get together to help each other.
Once a week. Because that's what it requires.
Yes,
The program says once a week.
and you take turns, you rotate the week for it, so you're supposed to make something each meeting for the other meeting.
Yeah, no, it was very inspiring to see the presentations, but
Yeah, just thinking of Lisa, I've signed up for various reasons to go on. Somehow you got a tour of the drill site at the near the 4-level interchange. Hermosa Vista drill site, and she's got access to that. So it'll be a walking tour of that in the next month, and I'm signed up for that
in the oil field.
in the site. So I want to do that because I'm thinking of making a presentation for another group Well, it was what brought me here. I worked on the 14th and Broadway site this summer. The Doheny site where I used to live.
You did drills or you did environmental?
The engineer
Yeah.
to drill. I've worked on the platforms in the channel. Worked on all that stuff. So in the arc of my time here, it's incredible. I've gone from drilling those things to shutting it down.
Right.
So I want to see what it's like. And plus, for our very own, the Murphy site, I think getting on another site is going to provide some useful information to see what they do or what they don't do with this other site. So that's just a little add-on. They're sort of like old business. Anything further from anyone? Rosie, last chance.
I just had a suggestion. I know there is, I know you guys all heard about the Brace and Boat program for the retrofitting homes. You may want to see if one of those companies that come out that do the Brace and Boat, if they would want to have a booth. I know Alpha, is it Alpha Structural? They send me emails all the time, you know. Julian, I don't know if they would do it or not, but there are a couple of companies who may be interested in wanting to have a booth there.
Do you know, Rosie, does Alpha Structural participate in the public program? Meaning because it's a partially paid, a program that the state of California partially pays for, right?
Right, it's a federal funded, yeah, in part, yeah. Brace them, they are part of it.
Because I know that.
Yeah, they I think it's Alpha Structural. They had came out and gave me a quote, so I get their little emails, you know, I think once every 2 weeks or so.
Yes, but it's a weekly email from Ben, whoever Ben is, that we get them to. Under the house this week.
Right, right.
Anyone who comes up with,
Yeah.
anyone who comes up with possible another contributor should come forward before the thing.
Well, finalize the rentals, but I don't mind.
Any further old business? Hearing nothing. Thank you all. This meeting's adjourned.
Great. Great meeting.
Yeah.
So let's back.
This is a learning experience.
How do you clear the YouTube?
I think.
Yeah.
Good night.
No, what can you?
Good night.
YouTube first, push YouTube.
You go top left. Oop. Where'd it go? It'll close. Go to the top left, it says YouTube, and pull down the menu, and it will say,
YouTube.
see YouTube, YouTube.